I mean, process changes with every portrait, but I try to get some standard things down. I try to measure quite a bit, and then I try to work from, it's almost like an animation-based idea of portraits, where you're really working from a base Canon type situation, and then you go from the Canon to more of like a personalized image.
Jeff, what's the word you use? Canon or candid? I couldn't hear you.
Canon.
What's that mean?
It's just like an idealized form.
Oh.
Yeah. So in this, I've got you know, the profile. Oh geez, the profile all sits in like one plane almost, and so I'm just trying to indicate that with this here, just for my own notes of where the light's hitting, and kind of helps me figure out what I'm doing. Because you know, when anything we look at, we're dealing with like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to say here, so sorry if I'm over talking. Okay. so I'm trying to like when we look at something, we get so many things playing in our heads that, you know, darks look smaller than light things, and you got red things look bigger than blue things. You know, before you know it, what we think we see is not what we actually see. So we're like working off of a Canon and doing lots of measurements in a portrait in particular is kind of not required in landscapes per se, but portraits, you got to get the idea, just, you know, pretty good. So I spend a bit of time in the drawing part and just understanding how it's all going to play out together.
And what color are you using, Jess?
Transparent earth red. I recently found some pretty fantastic brushes that I can't stop talking about. Anybody needs ideas on brushes? This brand, I ordered them from England, rosemary brushes. Oh, heaven sent.
I keep hearing about rosemary brushes.
Just do it, just do it.
What is it about them?
I can't paint good, but the brushes do it, right?
Magic brushes.
They are.
Is there a Canadian company you order from, or very straight from Great Britain?
Right from the source. I don't think they have in between. Oh, you know who does carry them is Swinton's in Calgary. Don't know. I order from the place, so I just like Swinton's, so, and I happen to know that they carry some of them. The only problem is they have so many brush types that you get overwhelmed, so you got to try a million. Well, first order, I think I placed $500 worth of brushes.
And you're working it on, right?
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
what was on the rag? Was there anything?
Just terps. I've got a medium that I use here. It's a mix of linseed oil, stand oil, what else? Poppy seed oil. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Is it better to hold your brush so far out? Like your hand is about in the middle of your brush.
I think the further back you hold it, the better. But I mean, I work loose, so. But I think if I had to do like details, I might do it. I'm a big fan of just as far as you can get away from your painting, the better. But
What surface are you working on?
I'm working on masonite prepped with gesso. It's my favorite surface for portraits, anyway. You can get stuff looking brushier. You can get stuff looking smooth if you want. It just allows a lot of play. And quite a big fan of just different textures and thicknesses of paint. And are there many people here that do portraits?
Some.
Yeah? Couple?
We're all scared.
Scared? Worst thing you're gonna do is make a bad painting. It's not so bad. So I do my base painting almost entirely in transparent earth red. Now I'm just adding a bit of white with it, filling in the larger areas. And this just keeps it in a nice warm tone, and it kind of allows me to see the form with the color added in. Makes a bit of a difference. Right now it's all about just trying to understand how the colors and stuff are changing the shape, or making me see the shape differently maybe. So now I'm just adding some cool. Again, one more layer of just understanding how temperature is affecting the drawing. So I'm still kind of considering this drawing phase, even though I've got color in here.
What is your cool?
Viridian, mixed in with transparent earth red. I took a course once with a woman, Carolyn Anderson, absolutely brilliant woman. Probably one of the meanest instructors I've ever had. I happen to really like that though, which other people we took it with, they weren't a fan. I thought she was great because she was nice enough to be mean. I don't know if that. Anyway, she told me with portraits that you don't necessarily want to be using blue ever. You want to be using purple or green, just because you're counteracting the orange just a little too much. So I kind of semi try to follow that.
Was baking portraits for?
You know, I did a few before the face of Corona, but I didn't do that many. I'm sure everybody, excuse me, sorry, knows Robert Genn. And I remember asking him, I used to work in Hamilton and they used to carry him, so I got to chat with him and he said, you know, he just said, you know, if you want to get good at something, you do 100 and then do 100 more. So I kind of thought, I wanted to get good at portraits, you just do a ton of them. So I blame him for that. Guess it's not really fair to do that now, but you know. in particular anybody want me to go over or talk about on it, or?
It's looking beautiful.
Yeah. You've made it look very easy.
Well, it is.
If you've done 400.
How do you get over that little voice in your head that says it's supposed to look like a person and not an animal? Do you know what I mean? Because we all have a preconceived idea, because we see faces all the time. A flower, you see different flowers. A chair, you see
Yeah.
different stuff. Faces, it's, eyes and nose and mouth. So, is there a process that you just have got comfortable with in your mind that you allow yourself to make it stretch out and come in, and,
That's a good question. I don't really think of it as a face. So I just think of it as a still life or something. Like it doesn't, to me, if I was looking at a still life versus a portrait, they're both like shapes. I mean, I guess, I don't know how I do it. That's a good question. I feel like it's, maybe it's just because I've done a lot of them now.
so you've learned to let go of it, really.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And I don't really have a lot of expectations for them to turn out or not turn out. I just do a lot of them. So I've done 500. If 501 don't turn out, right? I don't know. I like doing it, so if it doesn't turn out, then it just means I get to do another one.
So really just break it down then,
Yeah.
rather than look at it.
Yeah. So like when I'm thinking, like if I'm looking at a nose, I'm not looking at a nose. I'm looking at how is it turning, how is it changing, what are the temperature changes, what are the color changes, value changes.
It's amazing. So how close do you feel to being done?
I wouldn't know until I look at it tomorrow.
But by tomorrow you might not want to paint it anymore, right?
Yeah. No, it's really complicated.
Oh.
System I've got. I usually get more time to step away and then come back, and I'm really big on stepping away from your from your work once in a while, and because you can't assess it while you're working on it. Like what I want to do right now is spend 15 minutes away and come back and then work on it, because I could be perfecting some pretty serious mistakes and not even know it right now.
Do you mean spending 15 minutes looking at it, or 15 minutes?
15 minutes away.
Okay.
Totally different. And portraits are really like that, more so than I think other things, just because you really can get some pretty wonky things perfected. Like I could right now, but I can't tell right now anyways. But if you step away for 15 minutes, come back, you can see it look, right away you'll be like, oh, that looks weird.
Do you ever use a mirror just?
I don't, I should.
But then that does the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes I'll turn it upside down or something. Yeah.
Do you find yourself remembering faces better now? Or, if you were asked to do
Yeah.
a sketch of somebody that you had just glanced at,
Yeah.
would you be able to?
A lot better now. The other funny thing is, it's really weird because now when I talk to somebody, I'm like really looking at you like, oh, I can see that extra, and I do it all the time now. Like I can't not do it. For better or for worse, it's a weird quirk that came from. I do that all the time. I'm just like, or you'll be like sitting there having coffee and you're looking over at someone else and you're like, wow, that person looks really interesting. Probably get some weird looks after, but whatever. All in the name of painting, right? Ooh, I made her nose too small.
So if it's not a commission,
What's that?
would you change it up, or would you go, well, she looks pretty cute that way?
Well, if it's not a commission, I'm just doing it for fun, so I just feel, I don't care what happens to it after, so. Sometimes I'll fix it just because it's good to have that experience to fix it, but I might probably do what you're saying and just.
Like how do you fix it?
I mean, if it's a commission, then you got to go through the process again, but. But I'm perfectly happy to start things again. I have no qualms with that. If you don't like it the first time, just do it again. I think you learn a lot off of doing a painting a second time around.
Have you done a self-portrait yet?
I have. Did not enjoy that experience at all. I don't like to inspect what I look like. Is it time? Okay, done and done.
Thank you so much for